Welcome to BoomerWorks. Today's presentation, Digital Content Marketing 101, Become Your Customer's Trusted Choice. I'm John D'Annunzio, your presenter today. I own and run Squarely Digital, a marketing agency in Alexandria, Virginia that helps businesses grow online. I've run my company for more than 7 years, and before that I was a journalist for more than 20 years, most of it at the Washington Post. My years in journalism taught me a lot about producing high-quality content, and I've found that the ability to create smart, engaging content can really help businesses attract and retain customers. Let's start by going big picture and talking about the concept of marketing. As a business person, you know that marketing is important. You need it to bring in new customers. But as a consumer, you also know how people feel and how you feel about things like TV commercials and pop-up ads on your favorite website. They're annoying. They interrupt what you're doing. And even worse, a lot of times you don't trust the claims the advertiser's making. But what if I told you there's a type of online marketing that people actually seek out? And when they find it and read it, watch it or listen to it, it actually makes them trust the company more. It's called content marketing. Here's a definition from the Content Marketing Institute. Content marketing is a strategic marketing approach focused on creating and distributing valuable, relevant, and consistent content to attract and retain a clearly defined audience, and ultimately to drive profitable customer action. Let's break down the phrases that make up that definition. There's some key words in there worth expounding upon. When this definition says that content marketing is a strategic approach, that means every piece of content is created as part of a plan with a goal in mind. And if you're thinking our competitors blogged about that, so we should too, well, that's not strategic. By saying the content is valuable, it means that the marketing content your business creates helps or informs the prospective customer instead of annoying them. And it's relevant to their situation, their problems, and aspirations. It's targeted, which the internet can do better than, say, TV or radio. And it's consistent. And its consistency means, of course, that it's produced on a regular basis. Content marketing is not effective as a one-and-done effort. When the definition talks about a clearly defined audience, they're talking about your ideal customer. And I've highlighted the word profitable at the end, but you don't really need me to explain why that's important. With that definition of content marketing, we're clear on the general principles behind it. If we want to get more specific, I'd say there are two more important characteristics of digital or online content marketing. For one, it leads a prospect through the buyer's journey. That's the metaphorical trip we all take when we go from thinking about buying something new to actually making the purchase. And two, the content is more focused on your prospect's problems rather than the solutions you provide. Good content marketing can't be me. The types of content marketing you generally see online include blog posts, videos, podcasts, case studies, infographics, and there are a lot more types too. If you put all of that together, the benefits of content marketing, the valuable, relevant content that you produce consistently, are, one, it pulls customers in instead of you pushing it in front of their faces. If you're a lawnmower repair service, for instance, you gain business by converting the people who Google how to fix my lawnmower and end up at your website. Two, content marketing builds a relationship between you and the prospect before any money is exchanged. If your blog post about lawnmower repair is helpful and credible, the people who read it start to trust you. And that's what this is all about, trust. Trust lays a solid foundation for future transactions. There are additional benefits to content marketing as well. For one, it demonstrates your expertise. A prospect might think, if this company knows how to fix jam lawnmower blades so well, I bet they also know about riding mowers and bagging the cuttings. Also, it builds your brand. Even the people who don't buy from you start to know you, and they refer others to you. Content marketing also narrows your audience. This is an important function of content marketing. It should make clear who you help and what problems you can fix, so the people you can't help and the problems you can't fix are pushed off to the side. Those people move on instead of wasting your time with an inquiry. Finally, Content marketing has benefits when it comes to search engine optimization, or SEO. SEO is the art of showing up more prominently in searches on Google and in Bing and other places, but mostly Google. It used to involve a lot of technical changes to a website, but now what really matters are two questions. Do people consume and link to your content, and do they find it valuable? If so, Google notices, and it will surface your content in more and more searches. Hopefully, all those benefits have convinced you that content marketing is valuable. If they have, your next question might be, how do I do it? So I'm going to share my method for creating high-quality, effective content marketing here. The key steps are identifying a target audience and their pain points, generating content ideas that focus on solutions, writing copy that converts, performing a thorough self-edit, and anticipating the next step. Now, I want to note here that throughout this presentation, I'm apt to use the word writing as I talk about creating content, but this method applies to creating audio and video content as well as text. Before I start on a piece of content marketing, or before I get a client started down that path, I ask two questions. Who is this for, and how ready are they to buy? That, of course, is another reference to the buyer's journey, the stages people typically go through before making a purchase. To define who it's for, I suggest you create a customer persona. A customer persona is a detailed description of your ideal customer or customers. You've got to think about things like, what do these customers care about? What do they like? Where do they hang out online? What problems do they have that you solve? And that last one, of course, is really important. The more specific you are, the better. It'll help you connect with them. So I want you to take a minute here, stop the video, and write down some key characteristics of one persona that you might market to. What are the key demographic insights you have about them? Their age, gender, where they live, that sort of thing. Where are they on their career path? What are their goals in regards to your product or service? And what problems do they have that you solve? Okay, stop this for a second. Think about it, write down your persona, and then join me on the next slide. Now that you've defined the who in this equation, let's look at how close they are to buying. The classic way to look at this is called the buyer's journey, and it's typically divided into 3 stages: awareness, consideration, and decision. When a prospect is in the awareness stage, they're aware that they have a problem, but they're not sure exactly what it is. Your content helps them identify that problem. In the consideration stage, they're considering different solutions to the problem. Your content helps them evaluate the solutions. And in the decision stage, your content addresses those for whom your solution is a good fit, and it helps them decide to buy. This process, this journey, is also often called the sales funnel. Here's an example of a buyer's journey. Take the case of a homeowner who's found a puddle peeking out from under the dishwasher. In the awareness stage, they might be wondering, where's this leak coming from? Your content helps them diagnose the problem. In the consideration stage, they're starting to think about, okay, I know what the problem is. How am I going to get it fixed? Your content analyzes the various solutions they could take, including the one you offer. And then in the decision stage, the customer is trying to figure out what solution is best for me. Your content, assuming your solution is the best one, closes the deal. For this training, I want you to concentrate on the consideration stage. I think this is the best place to begin because not every business has a long sales funnel, but nearly all of them have prospects who move through the consideration stage. They go from having a vague idea of what they need to pinpointing specific solutions. Most of them look at different solutions and weigh factors like relevance, cost, style, time commitment, and user friendliness. There are many different types of content that work well at the consideration stage. Some of the best to start with include blog posts with a best of or top 10 theme, an expert's guide to solving problem X, original research you perform, or a unique personal experience that you can relate. an infographic you create with pros and cons of, say, 3 solutions, or a how-to video or a webinar on Zoom where you talk about fixing the problem that your customer persona faces. Now that you know all that, it's time to start writing, right? Well, not so fast. There's some key decisions you should make before you get going if you want to produce high-quality content. The decisions include, what topic are you going to write about? Okay, that's kind of obvious. What's the right voice? What's the story? How will you start? What's your headline? And also, I include this as a decision you have to make or not make. Don't have writer's block. Writer's block is a decision. If you feel like you have it, plow through it, you'll find it goes right away. I'll get into the other decisions here in the upcoming slides. Because topic selection is so important, I want to provide a little more guidance on that first. If you think about the questions your prospects are asking, or even the questions you typically hear from existing customers, and answer them with your content, you're on the right path. The best set of tips I've seen on picking topics came from content marketer Marcus Sheridan. He says, and I agree, that answering questions in these 5 areas will almost always produce good marketing content. The areas are: 1, cost and pricing. How much is it going to run me? Is what your customer is often thinking, right? Answering questions like that is going to help you. 2, problems. And you're talking about, in this kind of content, both problems customers have and the problem you as a business see with the different solutions that are out there. 3, comparisons and versus articles. In this kind of content, you put different solutions side by side. Which one's better for a given prospect? 4, best of lists that relate to solutions that they're considering. The list is a classic of internet content. People eat them up. It's a really good kind of content for consideration stage content. Consideration stage content. And 5, another great content type, reviews. Sheridan recommends honest reviews of your products and competitors' products. You're right for a lot of people, and your products are right for a lot of people, but not everyone. There's no need to pretend you are. You want to create an engaging piece of content, of course. Here are the keys to doing that. And some of these keys relate directly to the decisions I talked about 2 slides ago. The keys include choosing the right voice. You probably want to speak the language of your customer, right? Is it business-like or casual? Is it jargon-heavy or easily understandable to the layman? Another key, telling the story. Just because it's business doesn't mean you have to be dry and boring. A story has a beginning, middle, and an end, and some problem or tension that's resolved throughout that journey from the beginning to the end. Can you create content that does that? It'll help you a lot. Next, start strong. Your lead, that first paragraph that you open with, the first few seconds of a video or audio clip, that's so important. If you don't grab the audience's attention right away, you're going to lose them. Finally, what's your headline? Believe it or not, the headline you put on a piece online is almost as important as the content itself. And it has SEO value, meaning Google looks at that and judges how high it should play your story in the search results. Perhaps the most common question someone like me hears is, how long should I make it? There's no set answer. In the news business, there's a saying that a great long story feels like it takes no time at all to read, and a poorly written short story takes forever. But I will say, online, shorter is usually better. Why? Well, people are multitasking, they're in a hurry, they have so many choices, almost infinite choices out there on the internet, and they scan and skim. So not many people are going to get all the way through a super long blog post or a 25-minute video. Short and sweet is usually better. Once you've finished writing that short and sweet content, guess what? You're not really done. A key principle of my approach to creating high-quality content is reviewing your work to make it better. I suggest what I call a triple review. Review 1 is reading through or listening to or watching your piece as if you were a reader, viewer, or listener. How would it sound to them? It's difficult to take a step back and look at your work from the reader's perspective. But if you can, it'll definitely help. Sometimes getting someone else to read it or look at it or listen to it will help a lot too. Review number 2. Go through the piece again, just looking at the grammar and the style. By style, I mean, are you using clear, concise writing? Are you using the right word? Are you using too many words? If you read a sentence out loud and run out of breath, well, guess what? Yeah, you're using too many words. Review 3. Examine the nuts and bolts of your writing. The little things like spelling and punctuation. One trick that works well for me, I'll read a piece backwards, looking at each word individual and stopping on the longer words to really make sure I've spelled everything correctly. That takes the context out of it and just makes me look at each word and make sure I've got it right. All of this stuff may sound nitpicky, but it's important. Content that gets the details right is more trustworthy. And like I said earlier, this is all about trust. Once you've completed a triple review, the final stage is anticipating and encouraging the reader's next step. What do you want them to do next? In our training, since you're creating a consideration stage piece, you might have a decision stage piece that you'd like them to see next. Or maybe you want to get this reader to subscribe to your email newsletter to receive more of this type of content. Whatever it is that you want them to do, you need to tell them. And we do that by using a call to action. What's a call to action? You've seen them all over the internet. They're the buttons and links and headlines, often like the purple one here on this page, that urge the reader to take the next step. You should also think about where you're going to promote your piece. Simply publishing on your website and moving on to your next task doesn't guarantee a single person is going to see that content you just made. So make a distribution plan and stick to it, whether it's posting on social media, emailing a bunch of contacts and encouraging them to share your piece, or using advertisers to bring readers in. All of it works. You just have to do it. So that's it. That's my method for producing high-quality, effective marketing content. Now it's your turn. Block out some time, follow my steps, and create one piece of marketing content for the consideration stage. A blog post, a case study, a video, etc. This is going to be something you can use for your business. I'd suggest you make it longer than a social media post, but short enough to consume in 5 minutes or less. So now get to work, and good luck. If you'd like additional resources and help with content marketing, here are a few really great websites that focus on content marketing. Digitalmarketer.com, HubSpot.com, and Moz.com. They're all really good. Ann Handley also has a bi-weekly email that's another great resource. She's a true content marketing expert, and she values good writing in a way that makes me smile every time I read her email. And finally, I offer free resources through my company as well. There's a downloadable guide to creating quality content on my website at squarelydigital.com/guide. And you can also join a content tune-up workshop. These are group Zoom sessions where participants and I help everyone improve a content marketing piece submitted ahead of time. You can get more information and sign up for those at squarelydigital.com/tuneup. Thanks so much for attending today's session, and don't hesitate to get in touch if you have questions. I'm at john@squarelydigital.com. Have a good day.